We are also joined by our guest this afternoon, Sushil Pandit, on this broadcast. Yes, Sushil Pandit, these are unfortunate images coming in from Budgam. These are protesters who want to be heard, their plight need to be heard, and instead of listening to them and embracing them, we are seeing how tear gas are being shelled at them and the police also resorting to lathi charge.
This is adding to a tragedy, and this is very insane. You've used people as cannon. You are mistreating them. You are mistreating women. You are mistreating children. You are mistreating a mourning community in this brutal fashion. This is not on. You should have been there with them. You should have been there to listen to them, to share their grief, to console them in this hour. I am amazed how sensitive can a government be. When Home Minister or Prime Minister visit Jammu, they don't have time to even step into their camps for 3 decades plus. I mean, what does it take? What kind of a need? What kind of an
apologies, sir. We are unable to hear you clearly. We'll just reconnect that line with you because what you are saying is very important and the questions that you are raising, sir. In the meantime, I would also bring Pradeep into the broadcast right now because Pradeep, you've been speaking to the family members. They are devastated. They are inconsolable because losing the only breadwinner of the family, and of course, if we talk about their dear son, Rahul Bhat, and the way he was killed yesterday in this case of targeted killings that are happening, they still don't know who was behind it. In fact, he was in his office when the attack happened.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Right now, I'm at Rahul Bhat's place here in Durganagar area. Family is completely devastated, completely shattered, inconsolable. And you can see the condition of the wife. She's completely in a state of shock since yesterday, ever since she got the phone call about Rahul's killing. She is in a state of shock. And we had been trying to speak to her, but it's not easy because it's very difficult. And I don't want to be insensitive, just coaxing her to speak a word or two before the camera. Because one can understand what the family has gone through. 35-year-old Rahul Bhat, he was there in Kashmir Valley under Prime Minister's package. He was working in the Revenue Department. He was sitting in Tehsil office when 2 terrorists identified as Aqib Gojri and Latif Ahmed. They were holding pistol in their hand. They entered inside the office. They shot him on point blank range. They fled from that area. Another story, it's the same horror story that has been repeated. What we saw in the 90s, the same horror story is being repeated again in 2022. Kashmiri Hindus were targeted that time also. Again, the Kashmiri Hindus are being targeted. They started with Tikalal Taplu. It was Prannath Ganju, it was Sushil Tikku, it was Sarla Bhatt, and now it is Rahul Bhat. So how many more Rahuls we will have to sacrifice? That is what the family members are asking this question. What has been his fault? Is being Hindu a sin in Kashmir Valley? If Hindus are not safe in their own homeland, where the Hindus will be safe? And we have seen that the Hindus, there are attempts to wipe out and simply ensure that their footprints are wiped out in Kashmir Valley, whether it's Hindu or it is Hindustani. And short while back, in fact, one person was asking you a question that a cop has been targeted. I really wanted to respond to him that he was targeted because he's Hindustani. Because they do not want to see Hindus, they do not want to see Hindustanis, and they know that in coming days Amarnath pilgrimage is going to start. Hindus from all over the world are going to pay obeisance at the Amarnath shrine, and they will be here for the Baba Barfani's darshan. So they know that the Hindus will be coming. So they want to generate fear among the people so that Hindus once again flee from this area. They had ousted them in 90s, they want to do it again. And this is one thing is quite clear. The Caliphate Brigade is working overtime. It is the Islamist radical element sponsored by Pakistan who are trying to target Hindus. But unfortunately, our netas who are so busy playing politics, they are not able to see this thing. They are putting blame either on Kashmir file. Look at the ABCD. A is that they had been busy with the appeasement policy. B, they had been always trying to blame then Governor Jagmohan for whatever really happened with the Kashmiri Pandit. C, they were busy giving clean chit to Pakistan and Pak proxies. And D, they had been discrediting their pain and they had been denying them justice. Look at the condition of the wife. I think it's look at her condition. And I think nobody nobody should go through it. Every time whenever I report about such stories, I feel that this is the last time I'm reporting about such incident, because I do not want any of the family members to lose their near and dear one. Look at the conditions that he is again consolable. He is a relative, again totally inconsolable. So it's not easy to comprehend that something of that sort has really happened, because 3 days back only Rahul Bhat was here to see one of his relative who was ailing, and he was inside he was undergoing treatment at Narayana Hospital. That time he promised the family that when next vacation he'll be coming and spending good time with them. But nobody had thought that you can find his nameplate, his name etched on the nameplate, but there will be no Rahul Bhat coming to knock the door again. That's what actually the family members are going through. Family members are trying their level best to console Rahul Bhatt's wife. She is in completely a state of shock. All you can see, the tears flowing down their eyes. She cannot see anything. At times there's a stony silence. At times you hear those cries, and those in fact make you bleed, your heart bleed. But unfortunately our netas still want that there should be dialogue with Pakistan. One should ask them why they want to legitimize Pakistan, why they want to glorify villain, why they want to make villain a stakeholder, and why they are not speaking for these victims, because this community has suffered a lot. He was there with the idea of India. He was there for India. He was representing the country. He was only serving Kashmir and Kashmiris while working in one of the departments, but still he was targeted. So these are the questions the family members are asking. Is being Hindu a sin? What was his fault? What was the fault of young daughter of Rahul Bhat? Why he was targeted? And see the condition. I've been here since yesterday. It's very difficult, because every time I enter their room, it's very difficult to stand here. I know it's not easy. What the family members must be going through, because anybody, even the stone-hearted person will start crying looking at their condition, because even a callous-hearted one will start crying. But our netas still will keep on playing politics. They will keep on playing politics over the issue. They will try to politicize this issue. And this is right now the situation here at Rahul Bhatt's residence. People are also angry. People really want security, and then they want security also for the other people who are putting up there. They're asking this question, that why the security is not being provided, because if an office of Tehsildar, where the district magistrate is sitting, if that security is not there, so where else you will be providing the security? The second question is, they smell some kind of a foul play. They feel that there is a conspiracy. Maybe someone in the office have informed the terrorists that Rahul Bhat is right now sitting. They might have identified that he is a Kashmiri Hindu. Accordingly, two terrorists came, they hit him, and then they flee from that area. And see, they come from the rear side of the building. When they come from the rear side of the building, because they know there is no CCTV camera. And right now you can see the mother's condition also. You can see what mother is going through. Look at. I think after seeing her condition, I think anybody will start crying. Anybody will eyes will get moist. And see, everybody is trying to console her. She has lost her son. Father has lost her son, because mother never thought that she will have to hear such a kind of a news, because when 3 days back he had been here, he had promised that he will soon be coming back home and spending good vacation and good time with them. And they had been waiting for that moment, but all of a sudden they get a phone call yesterday at about 4:30, and during that process they were informed that Rahul is no more.
Continue to be with us even as we are staying with these images. These are absolutely sad, to say the least. And Sushil Pandit, bringing you once again in. Rahul Bhat, who was an innocent Kashmiri Hindu, was brutally killed by these terrorists in Budgam, and this is the third such incident of a Kashmiri Hindu killing this year. The family is inconsolable, but what about the Lieutenant Governor? Questions are being raised at why is he not on the streets with those protesters, trying to, in a way, even console the parents, for that matter, the family who are going through this tragedy.
Yes, the is complete. The callousness is 100%, and it permeates right down from the top. We are being used like tissue paper and then disregarded. As a community, we have a right to the outrage. We have a right to grieve and feel orphaned It's not just the children of Rahul Bhat who are often blamed. The entire community feels that we have been abandoned, we have been orphaned. There is no one we can turn to in this. It will be a tragedy, and all us Kashmiri Hindus will seek asylum somewhere else in this world. It'll be a tragic day. God forbid if that happens, but I see that happening sooner than later. We live with this tag of refugees in our own country. We will soon be saying we are not safe in our own country anywhere. This country doesn't value us. This country doesn't own us. This country has no use for us. We better live elsewhere. We have no life left. Nobody cares. Not a single prime minister has visited a refugee camp. It's been 32 years. What do you expect? They make policy decisions.
Sushilji, the points that you are making is exactly the comments that we are hearing also from the protesters there, sir, because they have been tear gassed today. And they say they were holding peaceful protests, but who is exactly at fault? Sushilji, thank you very much for your point of view and for your time here.